should be the logic for calculate score, guys. Let's just say if we read in an array, we multiply them. Let me show you a little bit here, but it's not complete, okay? Because if I complete this, then you don't have anything to do for assignment yet. Correct? So I have an access to score 0, right? Times, let's say this is just how to use an array, just to show you real quick. Times their wage. And return it. So that's the first one. That makes sense? And just need to use the loop to add them and sum, right? Do each of them and sum them. That should do. That should be easy one, right? This is just an example. Need to modify that code below, right, to support the correct logic. Okay. The following line of code is only for demonstration of how to access a value in an array, right? That makes sense? Now, I want you to do if else or switch case. Now this part. This part is when I hit the button is to calculate, right? How do we get that in? It's coming from J takes score and J takes wage. We parse them. So those are string. Dot get text, right? Those are string. And we parse them to, I prepare them here, scores and wage, right? And an array. Then I need to put in the loop, correct? I have I here. Scores dot length. I plus plus. Or you can use the size that we have too. And we have to do for both, right? For wages too, right? Then just copy this and replace it with wage. Did I name? I think I named wage. No. Wage. Okay. And then not done yet. What should I do, guys? I only parse them, right? This is just parse string to double for calculation. What do I need to do next? I need to call. I have the method here. Just call it to use. Just like the same way that you do dot, 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 but this isn't the same class. You don't need to do dot anymore. What do you pass in, guys? The scores, right? Which is an array. And the weights, which is an array. it's going to calculate and return the grades. Then I already have the GUI to show the grades, and one of that is what the JTech score. So I'm going to set the JTech score. Which row is that one? Let's use the last one, which should be 6. Dot set text to the score. And this one is a double. We need to convert to string by plus the quotation and return to be string. Now we get the score out and show on the user interface. Now that's still some tricky part though, because your loop here starts from the 0 here. If I enter the name, how am I going to convert the name to string? See what I mean, right? It's only calculate this. Like, let's say if I do this, so I'll let you modify this because you need to modify that. Right, so still some tricky part. That's the letter grades, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the wage. I didn't enter the wage, right? Like this supposed to be student name, I'll let you modify because this is just a sample code, right? Let's say 1%, 10%, 40%, 10%, 60, right? 70, 80. It's still a little bit here because of the length. You should just loop up to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Because I decided to use this to show something else, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to do just to up to 4. And let's set some default number that I don't have to manually enter for now. When I create, yeah, let's do it again. 2, 0, 1, 22, 0, 2. Alright, let's see what we get first. There you go. Let's calculate for you, right? I happen to put on letter grades, so I can move this to and run again. So let's make something that is correct. Oh, it should not be correct because the logic I always use the first one that you need to modify, remember? Here, right? It's only calculate the first one, right? So if it's correct, let's say the first one I say 0.5 times 0. Let's say 100 times 0.1. That should be 10, correct? So the rest, just do simple calculation. Let's randomly put something. %, 70%. I mean, at this point it doesn't matter because my calculation is just show 10, right? Good. So now we're gonna look at the another project, which is final project. I just record on the same, okay, video. So how we going to? Let's look at what we have first. This is also GUI, right? POS demo. we have simple J-frame. This actually easier than the one that we look at, right? Way more simple because we started last time. Make it simple first. What did we do? We have two buttons, see that? And we add them onto the frame, right? And that's pretty much it. So we add them and then we just do action, perform it. When I click, now I do add, where do I add the actions? Here. So both of the buttons going to do the same thing, go to registration, which we don't want that, right? Let's see, let's run this first. So I have 3 classes. I integrate them into POS demo. That's how I do it, right? So first, if I registration, pop up the place where I can register my username and password, right? You may want to do verify password, right? That should be a proper logic, correct? It's so the password field, we use the password field. It's pretty much here. If come back to your question to how do we link to that? Here, new registration. From this class, I call another class. In that class, I have just the password to have the password, the password field. And we're supposed to have verified password too, if we want to do it twice, right? So we add, now I need to add another one, then we can do verify. That's supposed to be, right? Right, same logic you can do, right? That's just an example. So I add, but this one I didn't use JFrame. This is I do JOption pane. I show you, right? You add into JPanel, like we just showed you how to use JPanel. And the same, you can use grid layout if you want to, right? You can do it from here too. We just show you how to use grid layout earlier, right? If I do want to stack them, you can put label. I didn't use label. I just make it fast, right, to show you, right? To be username, password. Now it's going to be stacked now, right? 3 rows, 1 column. The password 1. And what do I do after that? See, this is not a question that you ask, how do I integrate back to person, right? I have 3 classes. This is like your assignment, what? No, 4. Room, right? Like person has the attributes, setter getters. Like room, right? Setter getters. Room constructor, person constructor, remember? So how do I, when I do register, I call person again. So I need to instantiate it as an array that we just learned. Come back to your question to how many person, how many accounts here. In the array, I said I can have 1,000. Right? I said here an array of 1,000 as a type of person. So that means I can register up to 1,000 person, right? If I want more, I just going to have more.
But you cannot
right?
how many accounts you want.
That's this small. You could, it depends on your logic. But normally we just allow you to register 1 account, right? With 1 email, something like that, right? 1 username.
So you see you want this whole project to be done with JFrame?
You are the one who make requirements. Those are extra credits. If you use JFrame, you get extra credits, but you're not required to use.